What's up, Trekkies? Hi, so we've got not much. I've been waiting around this morning. Yesterday, posted at 9:30, something about Star Trek Adventures USS Pathfinder Episode 3. That's going to happen tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. That'll be on the Cryptic's Twitch channel or the Star Trek Online Facebook page. So that's that. I don't know what this is. Busy at that time of night. It's going over the patch notes from last week for PC. The Domino console has been added to Allied Dogfighters console, which I think is the pilot escorts, the Andorian and the Orion and the Day one. And then the Andorian wing cannons can now be equipped on any Andorian escort. That probably means the tier 5. Olethian, not Orion. Not much else in there for patch notes. Console, what have we got going on here? Oh, you have a Keysale on both platforms. Xbox One and PlayStation 4 have 15% off keys this weekend. So it's not starting now? Oh, it is. It says this weekend. Oh. It says weekend, but it's not. It goes from today until next Friday, the 9th. You've got 10 days. 11. Huh. Now is the best time and you just load up on keys. So that's a thing. The Son'a have regenerated into the Infinity Lockbox. This indicates that you guys are having the Infinity Lockbox drop, which means while Infinity Lockbox is going on, you're moving on a transitionary period to the next Lockbox, which, from what I understand, will be the Discovery Lockbox for you. Discovery Lockbox? You guys are getting the anniversary event. Discovery Lockbox, new featured episode, the re-engineering system, which I went over last week, and that will all pop out next Tuesday. So if you have any questions about what's to come up, I can answer them tomorrow on the day, or next week, the day it comes out for you guys. Son'a ship is like the Son'a Command Science Vessel, is the tier 6 super big ship. Resequencers, ground introspection and invigorating radiation, space reconstructive radiation and repair crews, universal kit modules, transport inhibitor field, stasis drone, and isolation field generator, isolytic plasma ground space weapon pack, don't know what those specifically do, and the Baku duty officer cadre. Don't know what they do. I never opened this lockbox. As much as I wanted the Son'a Command Science Vessel, you know what? I'm on the game right now. Let's go to the fleet. Where are you? Can we not warp there yet? The Dreadnought system. So that's what's coming out with the 8th anniversary and all that jazz. Not much coming out. I mean, everything that's in the Infinity Lockbox is still in the Infinity Lockbox. So you don't have to get this Son'a ship if you don't want. Pick something else. But like I said, once an Infinity Lockbox shows up is when you guys are transitioning from was when the whole game, whatever platform, is transitioning from one lockbox to the other. It used to be called the All Lockbox Drop event, but it was inundating our inventories with like 12 lockboxes. Plus it was like stupid because, you know, that's that many more items in the game that you have to worry about dropping, and then the RNG on top of that. Because like if you really wanted a temporal lockbox, you had to like keep farming lockboxes until you got a temporal lockbox. And sometimes you'd be getting Ferengi lockboxes or Cardassian lockboxes or Dominion lockboxes or Tal Shiar and you didn't care, you wanted temporal lockboxes. Now you have the Infinity, so it doesn't really matter. They only have to worry about dropping one item. So that's a benefit. Our fleet's actually progressed to the point where we have a exchange here. I wouldn't mind having the Son'a giant collector dreadnought thing. Son'a. See, there's a Son'a lockbox. I mean, the lockboxes still exist in the game, but special acquisition packs, Son'a modules, don't care. Son'a Infinity Promotion Research and Development Pack. The Son'a Command Science Vessel is that one. I'm looking for a more expensive ship. Oh, okay. The collector comes out of the Son'a Infinity Promotion Research Pack. Gotcha. That's what I was looking for. But yeah, the Son'a Command Science vessel is currently on the PC exchange for 175 million. How much is a tarantula? 285 million. Is that worth selling? A Decora. That's a hollow emitter. Oh, the Decora's only at 24 million. Might as well sell that thing. What else have I got? Kelvin. Kelvin Timeline Lockbox. No, I want Kelvin Timeline Tribble. Timeline Phaser Emitters. Duty Officers Packs. Kelvin Timeline... Because it only goes up to 400, and I'm just searching the word Kelvin. Sort by price, descending. Kelvin Timeline Intel Dreadnought Cruiser. I don't want that. I guess that ship. Kelvin... Heavy Command Cruiser. See if that works. Sort by ascending price. 295 million. I guess I could sell some of these ships if I really, really, really wanted one. Anyways, so that's what's going on with that. I was just checking exchange prices. I'm stupid. Don't check the exchange. You get out of my inventory. Discard. Give me money. Anyways. So yeah, I have other things to slightly bring up. I understand that in a lot of MMOs, there is close to something called the absolute best. That's because a lot of players and a lot of characters have very limited things in what they can do. I'm not saying that your playstyle is that limited per se, but like as a mage in WoW, if I'm a fire mage, I want my crit, and I'll pretty much do anything for crit. If I'm arcane, I'll take mastery, which is a stat in WoW. It's not anything you need to really worry about, and I want a lot of mastery. I get my gear towards mastery, so I look for what is the best in slot. Now, the best in slot is dependent on what class I am, and spec to an extent. You wouldn't want to necessarily stack mastery as a fire mage. It's cool if you do, and it's certainly a playstyle for it, but it's not necessarily how fire is designed. And I know that Star Wars, perhaps the other fantasy MMOs, EverQuest, Final Fantasy, work really similar to that, as in World of Warcraft. However, Star Trek Online is really modular. A playstyle can be very, very useful and functional, given the right tweaking. There is no best, and I say this way too much, and I have to reassure this over the many years. So when someone levels a reputation, and they get it to tier 5, and they ask, so what's the best thing for an interceptor out of this reputation? And I'm like, I don't know. Because the person, let's say they have a Bajoran intercept, and they're like, well, what's the best thing for the interceptor out of the Delta Alliance thing? I'm like, I don't know. What's your playstyle? The interceptor in and of itself allows for a lot of playstyles because it's got so many universals. You know, are you an EPG build? Are you a fighter build? Are you trying to be a tank in that thing? I mean, you see what I mean? It gets really weird because people are so ingrained that there's got to be a best. That there is a hierarchy of things that are best. Now I understand when you're looking at like anti-proton consoles, obviously an anti-proton console Mark 10 white is not nearly as good as an anti-proton console Mark 14, whatever that color is that you guys like. Gold, orange, yellow, I'm not sure. The top level one. Obviously, the pure bonus you're gonna get out of anti-proton damage of that is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that anti-proton is the best. Anti-proton's the best for a DPS build because it likes to take crit D and crit H and, you know, have its fun with it. But that's not necessarily the greatest for, I don't know, like my build as a science. I don't like anti-proton. I choose a phaser polaron build because I like to shut down systems and drain their subsystem power. Well, it's only a 2.5% chance. Trust me, when it hits, it hits. That's why they're so good, is because when they hit, they hit. So not every reputation is going to give you the best. Just because you leveled them, you know, it doesn't mean that all reputations are going to give you the best. Technically, by even saying that, it can't. One of the reputations has to be the best, but they're not, because each reputation kind of caters towards a certain playstyle. Support healing, Lucarii. Weirdly, Tholian has an Ox science build. They tried something within Tholian. I think it's Tholian. I'm not logged into the game right now, but they have like your Ox to offense ox to defense. So the higher your ox power, the more weapon damage you do, or it's weapon skills. You get weapon skill, projectile skill, or you get like shield skill and hull. You get those raw skills based on your ox power. And it's like, that seems pretty cool to put on a science vessel. Not necessarily all that great for anyone who wants to do A2B, because then you're draining your ox power so much, and thus you're getting 2 traits that are useless. Or those Dyson. Whatever. There is a reputation out there that does that. So you have to read each of the abilities, but you have to know what your playstyle is. Just because someone comes by and says, hey, this is the best, there is always the words after that. This is the best for me, for my playstyle. Nobody says it because they think it's implied, or they're dumb and don't think it's implied because they're under the delusion that there is a best, but there isn't. There is a best for you. There is no best in slot other than we're talking like an absolute singular console. But an overall ship design or something a reputation's good for? Not necessarily. I mean, I've got one of my characters, he's decked out with the Iconian set, ground set. I got another one who's decked out with the Borg set. He's also a Borg, but that's neither here nor there. But like, my tactical officer, my Trill tactical officer, she runs on the ground. She's got the Mako Mark 13 sniper set. The sniper rifle with the Mako armor and the Mako, I mean, she almost can't die. She knows a lot, but you know, she's an idiot. Whereas like, my engineer, my Andorian engineer, has the full Dyson set. So, except for the weapon. Anyways, I don't usually take him along unless I'm going on a ground mission. Usually I spend too much time in the Dyson sphere and I have just science officer and science officer with me. Anyways, I'm off track here. I mean, in conclusion, I just wish that I could really drill into people's heads that it's your build. There is so many options in this game for you to play. And I understand that people don't want to it's not that you don't want to think, that they don't want to think, they just want to be good with as little effort as possible. And the efficiency in my brain says, well, yes, why wouldn't you? The problem is when in other MMOs, as I said, it's easy because a lot of other people, such as like in World of Warcraft, Icy Veins does the work. They look at all the gear. Now here's the thing, when you look at a best in slot piece of gear, we're looking at like mythic rating. How many people, percentage wise, in the game of World of Warcraft do mythic rating? At all. I'm not saying like over the length of the expansion, because like there are people now that are starting to get into the mythic rating of the most recent raid because it's easy. It's getting easier, our gear's getting better. But even so, that's not that many people. On top of the entire player base. There's not that many people, but everyone focuses on best in slot, and I must have the best in slot. And I get it, it's something great to strive for, but don't run around, and like I said, in World of Warcraft, you have very limited gear options. Is in Star Trek Online, it's module. I can't necessarily work with accepting the recipient of said information, but those of you that are giving advice, make sure you word things carefully, that you're not making it sound like this is an absolute the best possible. And if you do think it is the absolute best possible, other than a very, very specific console, like I said, the anti-proton and that sort of console, but a ship build design is not necessarily the best, because it's the best for you. But if someone can't think in that playstyle, they just don't think that way. I don't think with ships turning fast. I don't think that way. I think setting up things and getting everything to kind of work together to like, I think as a ranged caster with a little bit of control. I don't think about a Fury Warrior, or Rogue, which is what I think dual heavy escorts with dual heavy cannons. They just get right up on something, just go, and then move on. That's it. While that's cool and it's got a lot of big numbers, it's not appealing. When I was trying to fly my interceptor, I was like, this isn't fun. And to other people, that is fun, but it wasn't fun to me. I guess that's that. If you're giving people advice, try to work with what they have. If someone asks for advice, figure out what they have, what they want to do before you dispense absolute information. Because you dispensing absolute information without taking into account what maybe they want to play like, they're going to feel that that is the only option for them. And while some people is okay with doing that one, it's not necessarily the greatest. And it makes for kind of a souring player experience. If they're trying to be good, but they're not playing a playstyle they like, that's pretty much that. I will catch you guys next week. Again, console, if you have any questions about the anniversary event or Salah Charybdis, Charybdis, that featured episode, or re-engineering in general. I will chat with you guys next week.